When I was 15, I worked at a very popular pizza chain in Canada. You know the one. Let's just say it rhymes with nut. I didn't want to work fast food. I had bigger plans, or at least I thought I did. My first choice had been the local arena. Pool maintenance, ice rink work, real responsibility. But there was one problem. You need to be 16, they told me. Something about chemicals, liability, rules. So close. Just a few months too young. I remember sitting in my room that afternoon, staring at my wall, doing the math in my head. I needed money. My parents weren't rich, and pride doesn't pay for bus passes or movie nights. So I swallowed it, printed a resume, and applied to the pizza place. The place was run by a couple of college kids, early 20s, who acted like they were CEOs of a Fortune 500 company. In reality, they managed a pizza joint in a small town. But to them, they were big stuff. I got hired for kitchen work, chopping, cleaning, tossing toppings, weeknights mostly. Honestly, it wasn't terrible. Then about a month in, they pulled me aside. Hey, we want you to learn dough. Now, for anyone who's never worked in a pizza kitchen, dough is not a casual responsibility. Making dough meant coming in at 6 a.m. on weekends, so the restaurant could open at noon. 6 hours, non-stop mixing, pulling batches, oiling pans, portioning, proofing, cold storage, repeat, over and over. I hesitated. I can learn it, I said carefully, but I don't want to do it every weekend. I was 15. Weekends were everything. They smiled, nodded. Don't worry, my boss said. You'll only do one weekend a month. So I agreed. They even roped my friend Scott into it too. Same deal, same promise. We trained, we nailed it, and that's when everything changed. 2 weeks later, the schedule went up. I blinked, checked again. I was scheduled every Saturday. Scott was scheduled every Sunday, back to back, every single weekend. I went straight to my boss. You said one weekend a month, I reminded her. She didn't even look guilty. She laughed. Actually, they laughed. Her, the assistant manager, the servers in their 20s leaning against the counter. It wasn't just dismissal. It was mockery. Too bad, she said, still smiling. That's the schedule. Something tightened in my chest. They knew exactly what they were doing. We were kids. We needed jobs. They assumed we wouldn't quit. And to them, that made us fair game. That Saturday, I dragged myself through another 6-hour dough shift. My hands were sticky with flour and oil. My back ached. My alarm clock echoed in my skull. And when I got home, exhausted and bitter, my parents were waiting. The arena called, my dad said. My heart jumped. They want you to come in for another interview. 2 weeks later, the day after my birthday, and when I went, they offered me the job. Then they asked a question that changed everything. Do you know anyone else looking for work? I thought of Scott. The weekends, the laughter, the disrespect. I smiled. Yeah, I said. I know someone. The next Saturday, I woke up at my usual 5:30 a.m. But this time, I wasn't tired. I unlocked the restaurant, clocked in, and did absolutely nothing. I poured myself chocolate milk, sat in a booth, twiddled my thumbs. The mixers stayed silent. The dough bins stayed empty. Hours passed. At noon, the managers arrived to open, and there I was, standing calmly, apron folded, name tag in hand. I quit, I said. My boss laughed again. Oh, please, she scoffed. We were going to fire you anyway. Then she smirked. If I were you, I wouldn't have even shown up. I'd have screwed us by not making dough. Couldn't help it. I laughed. Oh, I said. I did show up. Her smile froze. I've been here all morning, I continued. Didn't make a single batch. Pause. And since I clocked in, you still have to pay me. The color drained from her face. Chaos erupted. No dough. No backups. No staff to make it on the fly. They couldn't run front and back of house. They couldn't steal from tomorrow's supply. They had no choice. They closed the store. On a weekend, at the busiest pizza place in town. And just to make it better, Scott walked in the next day, did the exact same thing. They lost the entire weekend. We started at the arena the next week. And every time we tell that story, it still feels perfect. They thought we were powerless. They thought we were kids who didn't matter. But respect isn't optional. And karma doesn't care how old you are. If the story made you smile, hit like. If you've ever wanted revenge on a bad boss, tell us in the comments. And if you want more true, satisfying revenge stories like this, subscribe to the channel. Because sometimes, the best revenge is simply letting people face the consequences of their own arrogance.